What's happening guys, it's Abhinav from Phone Bunch and here's a quick comparison between the LeEco 1S and the recently launched Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. Now I'm not going to go into much details about both of these smartphones, it's just a quick comparison. So in terms of build, both have unibody metal construction with fingerprint sensors at the back. You can see that rear camera there too. Now the LeEco 1S has a speaker at the bottom while the Redmi Note 3 at the back. So the brownie points definitely go to the LeEco 1S. But the fingerprint sensor on the Redmi Note 3 actually worked a bit better for me. I won't talk about the camera because there was non-final software running, so we'll check that out in the retail unit. Now I just wanted to add a quick word about design. The flat front on the LeEco 1S actually makes it look far more appealing. And you can also see a bit of design bling with those capacitive buttons completely being hidden away. So in terms of design, the LeEco 1S definitely looks a bit better, but the Redmi Note 3 feels better to hold in hand. And the display on the Redmi Note 3 is a bit brighter than the LeEco 1S. The LeEco 1S is actually running on full brightness while the Redmi Note 3 is at about 3/4. Now here too you can see that the color reproduction on the Redmi Note 3's display is a bit better. You can see a pinkish hue on the LeEco 1S. And coming to that camera, actually the shutter speeds are good on both focus in fast as well. I'll compare the cameras when we get the retail unit of the Redmi Note 3. Now just to give you a brief roundup of specs, the Redmi Note 3 is running on the hexa-core Snapdragon 650 while the LeEco 1S is running on the Helio X10 octa-core processor. Both have 3 GB of RAM, 32 GB of onboard storage, but storage is expandable on the Redmi Note 3 using its hybrid SIM card slot. Now there's a 13 megapixel camera with a 5 megapixel front camera on the LeEco 1S, while the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 gets a 16 megapixel rear camera with a 5 megapixel front facing one. Both have 5.5 inch 1080p displays up front, but the Redmi Note 3 does one up with its massive battery. A 4000 mAh battery sits inside the Redmi Note 3 while the LeEco 1S makes do with a 3000 mAh one. Now just a quick word about software as well. The Redmi Note 3 is running on Android 5.1.1 while the LeEco 1S is still running on Android 5.0 Lollipop. So yes, it's quite behind in terms of software updates, and even with MIUI we really don't know when it would get the upgrade to Marshmallow. Now in terms of general performance, I didn't find any lag on both of these smartphones. Apps did open up quickly, web browsing was smooth as was touch response. Now just to give you a short conclusion as to what I thought, the LeEco 1S seems to be a better designed smartphone overall, but the Redmi Note 3 does feel better to hold in hand. So it's a toss up between both of these. We'll be taking an in-depth look at these smartphones as soon as the retail unit of the Redmi Note 3 is available. So stay tuned to Phone Bunch for lot more in-depth comparison. Thanks for watching. Do hit that like button if you want to see that comparison, and as always, have a great day.